So when I think of villains, man, personally, when I think of villains, there are two main villains that I think are perhaps the best within popular culture. I know people will disagree, but this is just for me, which is why I did a battle upon them, which is Sauron and Darth Vader. And I think these are two of the most iconic. And I would argue that probably the most iconic and the most popular villain is Darth Vader. But this is just an argument, and I think I'm happy to hear what people think about this with regards to whether it's right or wrong, or just your thoughts in the comments below as to why I feel Sauron is a better villain than Darth Vader. So I think first of all you have to say to yourself, what is the nature of villainy? What truly makes a great villain? The mistake that people make is a great villain is someone that we have to understand. Is someone who is dealing with inner turmoil. And for me, I think that the more we know about a villain, the more we know about the character behind a villain, the less scary they are. The mystery is frightening. The great unknown is frightening. The reason why people fear death is because we don't know. We are afraid of what we don't know, what we don't understand. That is the thing that really fears us. But the more we know about something, the less fear we have. So I think when you look at a Darth Vader, in the first two films, spoiler alerts, you have to watch Star Wars, but in the first two films, Darth Vader was definitely an amazing villain. And I think his villainy really went to the next level in Empire Strikes Back because, like, man, like, first of all, like, look at how this guy operates, how direct he is, and everything. But by the time we saw the return of the Jedi and we knew more about him, he's now therefore a very, very interesting character, an amazing character, but he's less of a villain. The difference with Sauron is from the first moment you see Sauron, how this dude, people spent years forging some rings. This dude forged one flipping ring to rule over everyone's flipping ring and pretty much cast them out. From the very first moment we saw him in Fellowship of the Ring and throughout three films for 9 hours, 9+ hours, this guy was just a presence a presence of evil, and he never changed. We never knew about Sauron. We never knew his character. We never saw anything about him that really expanded upon his character. And people will say, "Oh no, that makes him less of a great villain than Darth Vader." But we have to understand what arguments are we making. Are we talking about a great character, or are we talking about a great villain? If we're talking about a great character, oh, Darth Vader is a much better character than Sauron. But if it's a great villain, the beauty of the Lord of the Rings was how you always felt Sauron's presence. Even if you didn't see him, because of those iconic first 10 minutes of Fellowship of the Ring, at the back of our heads, we're thinking that, man, when this guy comes back, when this guy comes back. Now, I didn't read the books. When I saw the title, the last film was called Return of the King, I thought that was Return of Sauron. Like, I just read it as Return of Sauron. So I was like, oh my gosh, Sauron is going to come back. But the very fact that, Frodo and Samwise were protecting this ring and were going onto this journey, and they had this kind of eye of Sauron always constantly watching them and trying to get this ring, that is what increased the villainy. And because Sauron was so mysterious, because we hardly heard him speak, we didn't know that much about him, our fear of him grew tenfold. So that is why he is a much better villain than Darth Vader. Because we can't just because if you just okay, Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back, okay, he was an amazing villain in Empire Strikes Back, but we have to look at the character as a whole. Because we take Sauron for Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King, and we take Darth Vader from A New Hope, Two Towers, and A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So when we look at both of those things, Sauron is better, and that is why the and this is the issue that I have with people with Kylo Ren and so forth. When they say, "Oh no, the more conflicted," that's the key word. The more conflicted a character is, it makes him a better villain. But if let's say I'm writing a story, because there are times where I've written a story and everything, and I want to now make the villain of a story, I ensure that the villain is he's monolithic. He just is. Because if let's say you're giving characters to something, then that can't be the main villain. If the main villain, the main imagery of evil has to be very direct. It has to just be this one very just a very clear, concise concept that you don't dig into with any detail. And I think that is just what made Sauron so amazing. And I think I ever remember the feeling I had in the cinema so clearly when you saw Sauron, raise up with the ring and everything. And I was like, who the hell is this? And the beauty about it was how, look, I still feel Aragorn should have fought Sauron. And I will still say that to the last of my days. The hero must fight the villain. And I think Aragorn and Sauron had to have a fight because I'm convinced that if Sauron came back, they ain't killing that dude. Look at how hard it was to kill him in Fellowship of the Ring. If he came back, there's no way that they're killing that dude. So, but yeah, that's why. So look, tell me your thoughts below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think makes a great villain? And yeah, remember to like the vid. If you're new, remember to subscribe. And remember, in the description box below, email me any kind of questions you have or things you want me to talk about with regards to films, movies, comics, anything. Hit me up with an email and I will check my email in the description box below. But yeah, man, that's my thing. Sauron is that dude, my number one villain.